Hello students, today we will continue with the previous video, that is the tributaries of portal vein. First we will see the tributaries of the portal vein near its formation. So here the veins which are finally forming the portal vein are also can be considered as the tributaries. They are the major tributaries of the portal vein. They are nothing but, first one is the superior mesenteric vein, and second one is the splenic vein. So these two are mainly considered as the formative tributaries of the portal vein. Here we have this one is the superior mesenteric vein, and here we have the splenic vein. Okay. So the splenic vein receives one important major tributary, that is the inferior mesenteric vein. Inferior mesenteric vein. This inferior mesenteric vein is nothing but the continuation of superior rectal vein. Inferior mesenteric vein is continuation of superior rectal vein, which is draining the most of the lower part of the gastrointestinal tract. Next, tributaries for the trunk part of the portal vein, the larger portion. Okay, from near up to the branches, from formation to the branches. Okay, so here we have major tributaries like the left gastric and the right gastric vein. Left gastric, this is the right gastric vein, and this one is the left gastric vein. Both of them are getting anastomosed in the lesser omentum along the lesser curvature of the stomach. Once again, the right gastric vein receives another small tributary which is called as prepyloric vein of Mayon. Prepyloric vein of Mayon. Whereas the left gastric vein receives the esophageal veins. Esophageal veins. And one more important tributary from the trunk part is the superior pancreatico-duodenal vein. Superior pancreatico-duodenal vein. So here I will write the tributaries from the trunk part. Okay. First one is the right gastric vein. Second one is the left gastric vein, and third one is the superior pancreatico-duodenal vein. So this one is the superior pancreatico-duodenal vein. These are the three important tributaries of the trunk part of the portal vein. Next is the tributaries from the branches. As you all know that the portal vein has got two major branches, that is the right branch and the left branch. Okay, before it is entering into the porta hepatis. Okay, so from the right branch, we have important tributary, that is the cystic vein. Okay, that is the cystic vein. Cystic vein. Okay. Whereas from the left, there is one more, very important vein, that is the long one, that is the para-umbilical vein. Okay, from the right branch we have cystic vein as the major tributary, and to the left branch we have the para-umbilical vein as the major tributary. So these are all the tributaries of the portal vein. Okay, now we'll review the tributaries of the portal vein once again. First, the tributaries of the portal vein from the near its formation. Okay, that is the superior mesenteric vein. Okay, is the first one, and the second one is the splenic vein, which is coming from the spleen. Okay, these two are the major tributaries in its formation. Then the splenic vein receives the inferior mesenteric vein, which is the continuation of superior rectal vein. Okay, next we have the tributaries of the trunk part. Okay, so from the trunk we have major tributary, that is the left gastric vein. Okay, left gastric vein and the right gastric vein. Okay, then the left gastric vein is also drained by esophageal vein. Okay, and the right gastric vein is drained by the superior prepyloric vein of Mayo. Okay, then from the other side of the trunk we have the superior pancreatico-duodenal vein as one among the tributaries. Okay, then coming to the tributaries of the branches, the right branch has cystic vein, that is coming from the gallbladder. Okay, then the left branch has the para-umbilical vein as a tributary, which is coming from the anterior abdominal wall. So these are the tributaries of portal vein. So now we'll see the portocaval anastomosis. Portocaval anastomosis means here porto refers to the tributaries of the portal vein, and the caval refers to the tributaries which are finally drained to the inferior vena cava or the systemic circulation. So there is an anastomosis between the portal system of circulation as well as the the systemic circulation. So why this particular system anastomosis is essential here, because normally in healthy individuals the blood from the gut, which is absorbed which is traveling through the superior mesenteric vein, should pass through the liver. Okay, that is the portal system or the portal circulation, and then it has to reach to the right atrium of the heart. Okay, meaning the liver is actually metabolizing or detoxifying all the nutrients and the substances which are absorbed in the intestine. Then only it is sent to the systemic circulation, which will be heart will be taking care of it to circulate to all parts of the body. Whereas if there is any kind of obstruction to this flow in the liver because of the conditions like liver cirrhosis or liver carcinoma or anything. Okay, so then what happens is the collaterals in the form of the portocaval anastomosis will get enlarged. Okay, so they will actually try to compensate the circulation of the the blood which is supposed to reach through the portal system to the heart, will be sent through this particular portocaval anastomosis. Meaning finally somehow the blood should reach from gut to the heart. So that will be taken care of by these particular anastomosis. So for this hepatic portal system, there are 6 to 7 portocaval anastomosis. But now we will see only the important portocaval anastomosis, which are clinically very essential to understand. In order to see the portocaval anastomosis, first we will just recall the portal vein and its formation and its course. So the portal vein is actually formed by the union of splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein. So this is liver, this is stomach, spleen, so first we'll see the tributaries like the left gastric vein and the right gastric vein are here like this. Okay, so this will be just okay. Okay, this one is the left gastric vein. Okay, the left gastric vein will receive the tributaries from the esophageal vein. Okay, esophageal vein, and this esophageal vein will finally connecting. They have also anastomosing with the veins of the hemiazygous system. Hemiazygous system. Okay. Sometimes even to the azygous vein also. Okay, so this particular site is said to be the first among the portocaval anastomosis. This is the first among the portocaval anastomosis, which is actually present in the lower end of the esophagus. So whenever there is obstruction to portal blood flow, these veins will tend to get enlarged. The esophageal veins and this particular hemiazygous veins, which are present in the lower end of the esophagus, will tend to get enlarged. Okay, because they are trying to send the blood through this particular path to the right atrium. Okay, so they are by nature they are very small. Their caliber is very small, very narrow, but they are trying to accompany or they accommodate the blood which is supposed to travel through this particular portal vein. So then when these veins get enlarged, then you will have a complaint or a symptom called or a condition known as esophageal varices. Esophageal varices. That is the first site of portocaval anastomosis. The second one here is the this is the left branch of the portal vein. Okay, through which the paraumbilical veins will be draining. Okay, so these paraumbilical veins which are draining to the left gastric vein, they get anastomosed with the paraumbilical or the anterior abdominal wall veins. Okay, around the umbilicus. This is umbilicus. Okay, so these are the superior epigastric vein, inferior epigastric vein, as well as the superficial epigastric vein and the lumbar veins. So these veins will anastomose with the paraumbilical vein of the portal system. So these belong to the caval system and this one belongs to the portal system. So the paraumbilical vein belongs to the portal system and these anterior abdominal veins belong to the caval system. Caval system means the veins which are draining to the inferior vena cava here. So when there is a portal obstruction, when there is obstruction in the liver for the portal blood flow, what happens is these veins will get enlarged. Okay, so then all these veins will become tortuous like this. Okay, they become enlarged like this. This looks like the veins are radiating outward from the umbilicus. Okay, which looks like snakes moving around the umbilicus. Okay, so this particular symptom or this particular condition is known as caput medusae. Caput medusae. Caput medusae. This is the second location for the portocaval anastomosis. The third one is, quite important here. Okay, you know that the splenic vein is receiving another important tributary, that is the inferior mesenteric vein. The inferior mesenteric vein is actually the continuation of the superior rectal vein. Superior rectal vein. This is the inferior mesenteric vein. Okay, superior mesenteric vein. Sorry, superior mesenteric vein is here. This is superior mesenteric vein, and this is the inferior mesenteric vein. And then this superior rectal vein drains the blood from the superior part of the rectum. Okay, this is part of the portal system here. Okay, whereas from the caval system we have two important tributaries, that is the middle and inferior rectal vein, middle as well as inferior rectal vein. So these middle and inferior rectal vein will get anastomosed with the superior rectal vein to form the another important tributary here, another important portocaval anastomosis here. Okay, so this is the third site. Okay, and due to enlargement of these veins we can see the hemorrhoids. Okay, so whenever there is obstruction to the portal flow, these veins will get enlarged to compensate the blood flow through the inferior vena cava in this route. So then they get enlarged, that is nothing but the hemorrhoids or the piles. So these are the three major sites of portocaval anastomosis which you need to remember. Okay, another important location here is the bare area of the liver. Okay, bare area of the liver. Okay, and also along the retroperitoneal area, on the retroperitoneal abdominal wall. Okay, you will see the veins which are draining from the kidneys. Okay, and also from the sigmoid colon part. Okay, will have anastomosis with the particular systemic vein. Okay, that is the lumbar veins directly. Okay, lumbar veins. Okay, this left renal vein will have anastomosis with the splenic vein. Okay, some small unnamed veins will be getting anastomosis with the splenic vein. Okay, this is along the retroperitoneal area. Okay, retroperitoneal area. There are no significant symptoms being seen when these veins are enlarged. Okay, so they are not that important clinically, but these three sites are very much important clinically here. The remaining portocaval anastomosis can be understood by reading the textbooks. Thank you.